راقبوا الرحمن جل جلاله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will go through the 6 articles of faith in Islam. These, alongside the 5 pillars of Islam, are essential for every believer to know and practice. Let us go through them today. As a brief overview, the 6 articles of faith include the following: Tawheed, believing in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala; Malaika, belief in the angels; Kutub, believe in the books; and Risala, believe in the prophets; and Al-Qadr, believing in the predestination and the preordainment; and Akhirah, believe in the hereafter. Another belief in these 6 include life after death. Some scholars, they added part of Akhirah, and some added separately, making it 7 beliefs. And some replace Akhirah with it. But either way, it falls into the same category, so it should be similar. Either way, all of the above must be followed and believed and adhered to sincerely, as they are some of the most important requirements and beliefs accepted by all scholars, no matter denomination. Without them, a person cannot be Muslim. Furthermore, all of these beliefs have been compiled in a dua known as Iman Mufassal, which goes: آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله تعالى والبعث بعد الموت. I believe in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, the last day, and in taqdeer, that all good and bad is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, and I believe in the resurrection after death. Now let's divide these 6 beliefs in detail. First we have Tawheed, which is the belief in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Islam we have a strict monotheistic ideology, meaning that we believe in one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one besides Him has any divinity. This is actually found in the first part of the Kalima, where it states, La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. This proves that there is only one God in Islam. To believe otherwise would be shirk, which means to associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the greatest sin in Islam, and one leaves the fold of Islam if they do this sin. This shows how important the belief of Tawheed is in Islam. The second article of faith in Islam is Malaika, the belief in the angels. They are a form of pure and sinless creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command. Angels have many roles in Islam. Let us look briefly at a few. First we have Angel Jibreel alayhi salam. He's one of the most famous ones. He was the one who revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam in 23 years. Furthermore, Jibreel alayhi salam was also involved with other prophets and other errors, such as when it was written in the Quran in Surah Maryam verse 17, فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. Then we sent her, Maryam, our angel, Jibreel, and he appeared in front of her as a man in all respects. Another angel is Angel Israel. He is the angel of death, and he is the one who has been entrusted to blow the trumpet for signaling Yawm al-Qiyamah. The angel of death will take you who has been entrusted with you. Then to your Lord will you be returned. That is Surah 32, Ayah 11. The next article of Islamic faith is Kutub. These are the books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The main source of guidance in Islam is the Quran. However, there are other books of other eras and other prophets which have been corrupted over the passage of time. These include the Torah, which is the Torah, the Injil, which is the Bible, the Safiha, which is the scrolls of Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salam, and the Zabur, and many others which have been perished over time. However, the final testament, the Quran al-Kareem, has been given the quality of being preserved and not getting corrupted. This can be found in Surah Hijr, Ayah 9, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. Verily, it is we who have sent down the zikr, Quran, and surely we will guide it from corruption. The next article of faith is Risala. This is linking to the prophethood and the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The total number of prophets who ever lived is unknown, but 25 has been mentioned in the Quran. Let us look at some of the major prophets. First we have Prophet Adam alayhi salam. He was the first messenger of humankind to be created. He initially lived in the gardens of Eden with his wife Hawa, but was expelled due to eating the apple from the forbidden tree. Thus, Adam alayhi salam and his wife were sent to earth, and he was given the task to look after the world. Another significant prophet in Islam was Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. He is significantly known for the story of the sacrifice of his son, which shows his strong iman. He was also the one to build the Kaaba with his son Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. Another prophet in Islam is Prophet Isa alayhi salam, known as Jesus in Christianity. Although we as Muslims reject the Trinity and reject the idea he was crucified, we do believe that he performed many miracles, mu'jizat, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The final prophet I'll discuss is our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He is the seal of all the prophets, and he was the final one to bring the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of the Quran, which has still been preserved to this day, as mentioned before. This was a small insight onto some of the lives of the prophets. Inshallah, I'll go into more depth with some separate videos, inshallah, in the future. The next article of faith is the belief in akhirah, meaning life after death. Let us briefly look at the steps which occur after a person dies. Firstly, two angels, Munkir and Nakir, will approach that person, and we will begin the questioning phase to test, after the death, to test their iman. The righteous believer will be able to answer the questions correctly and will stay in the grave in peace and comfort during Barzakh, the period of the grave between death and Yawm al-Qiyamah. The sinners will be unable to answer these questions and will feel the adab al-qabr, the torment of the grave. After the Barzakh period, they will be resurrected among all mankind on Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of judgment. Then the judging shall begin, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge each person on how they lived. All their deeds shall be placed on the mizan. Also their book of deeds will be given to them they will be shown to each person. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decide whether each individual will go to Jannah or Jahannam. This is a brief description of the Akhirah. Obviously there is much more detail of what will occur, but due to the sake of this video, I have briefly outlined the major factors. Comment down below if you want an in-depth video of the Akhirah. The next article of faith is the belief in the Qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qadr is predestination, also known as preordainment. This means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knows everything we will do and everything which will happen. We as Muslims also have free will, meaning we can do whatever we want. Some people may find predestination and free will hard to understand and how they work together. Inshallah, I'll make a full video describing this in depth, but basically, we can do whatever we want, but Allah knows what we will do before we do it. Inshallah, wait for the video on this topic, which will go in depth of this video. This brings us to the end of this video. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.